Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mindy here. I hope you've had an amazing weekend and you're ready for a great week. So today I'm going to talk about a new brand, or new to me, that I've been exploring within the past couple months. I have one of their fragrances, but I started exploring a couple more and I definitely want to broaden my horizons within this brand. And that brand is Musc. This is a brand that I've only seen at Target so far. I don't know if they have an exclusivity deal with Target or if they plan to broaden that, if they already have done so. But for now, I've only seen this brand in Target and I play with it when I go in. One thing that has been frustrating is that I only have one of the actual perfumes. Every single time I go into Target, they seem to be wiped out with these. I'm wondering if maybe they're just not stocking enough on the shelves or if it is in high demand, but I've had to buy a couple of the body mists because that's all that they've had in the two fragrances that I really wanted to try out and test and play with over the next couple of weeks. So let me know your thoughts. Have you had the same issue? I personally have gone into multiple Targets and it seems to be the case at the several Targets that I've gone to. So have you been able to find these actual perfumes on the shelves? Have you had trouble finding them? Have you bought any of the body mists or the fragrances? I'm definitely curious to know your thoughts and how you feel about this brand. So without further ado, let's jump into the fragrances that I have here to talk about today. Okay, the first fragrance that I have here today is Cloud Musk. Cloud Musk is a unisex fragrance to my nose, and it's one that I actually really enjoy. Now, I have been a little bit finicky when it comes to musks. I've had trouble finding, my perfect musk because in many cases they lean a little bit too clean for me, maybe a little bit too floral. Now I'm thinking of Narciso Rodriguez For Her. That fragrance is just too floral for my tastes. I also found a similar feeling with Kayali Musk 12. While that happens to be one of the higher musk fragrances on my list, it also just isn't exactly what I like to see in musk. So this fragrance has a series of different notes: cypress, cardamom. In the mid, there's cottonflower, iris, jasmine, peony, and in the base is musk, tonka bean, and woodsy notes. Now, when I smell this fragrance, I definitely pick up the musk here, but I get a lot of woodiness in this one as well, and there's some sweetness that's lingering there in the background. This one is clean to my nose, but it doesn't go near as clean as some of the other fragrances that I've tried that have that clean or floral aspect to them. When I think about what a perfect musk might smell like, this is getting closer and closer to what I like to smell. I find this one to be soft, I find it to be alluring, I find it to be comforting in a way. Now, as I was playing with this fragrance, there is one perfume that comes to mind that this does remind me of. Now, keep in mind here that I have the hair and body mist because I couldn't get the actual perfume for this one. But what came to mind when I played with this a little bit was Bois Dore by Cleef Arpels. This has sort of that similar unisex quality that I get from Bois Dore, and it also has some parallels to the notes profiles that are in Bois Dore. Now, they don't smell identical. I don't think they even share a lot of the same notes, but I get some of that vibe from this one. So if you're curious what Bois Dore sort of smells like, this might be one to check out. Though I would say that one goes deeper, it has more character, it's a little bit more heavy. These I've found do last on my skin, I would say maybe 3 to 4 hours. I put it on in the morning, it was still there at noon when I went to the pool, but I would say these are a little bit softer, so I wish I had the perfume to give you a more accurate depiction of what the perfume does and how it performs. Now, another fragrance that I thought about when I was playing with Cloud Musk by Musc is Musc Ravageur by Frederic Malle. Now, it has been quite some time since I've sampled Musc Ravageur. In fact, I bought a sample set from Frederic Malle. It came in this container and it had a black box. I am almost certain that I threw all of my Frederic Malle samples away, and it makes me want to cry thinking about because there were a couple that I truly enjoyed. So I think I need to buy another sample set. But this made me think about that fragrance in the sense that it's also unisex. Musc Ravageur is a little bit more masculine to my nose, but it was also a musk that I really, really enjoyed upon first smelling it. So I had that similar experience here, and I can't quite tell you how they would compare to one another because I don't have that sample anymore. But what I did feel is sort of a similar feeling to smelling Musc Ravageur, which is that I liked it, that it felt unisex, that it smelled like a really nice, comforting scent. Now, I'm not sure everyone would like this one. If you really enjoy ultra feminine type fragrances, this might not be the scent for you, but I do recommend checking it out. It's easily accessible, and I do think these are fairly affordable. So definitely the body mists are. I think the perfumes might be a little bit more, maybe in the $18 to $20 range. I don't quite remember. But another one that I think would be really nice on somebody who likes a musk fragrance. Again, that is Cloud Musk by Mixbar. The next fragrance I have here is Bourbon Vanilla by Mixbar, and this was a no-brainer for me. For anyone that watches my channel, you know I like Bourbon Vanilla in my fragrances, so once I saw that they had this fragrance, I absolutely had to check it out. And when I did try it at Target, I picked it up right away. So I find this to be a soft, sweet, pretty, easy vanilla to wear. In this fragrance is Madagascar vanilla, oak, jasmine, black pepper, and apple blossom. And I find this to just be so smooth with a little bit of booziness in there. It's sweet, but it's not overly so. This is a fragrance that I actually really love to layer with Coco Mademoiselle Intense. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's one that I usually wear by itself and I love by itself. But at times, I think I find it to be a little bit heavy, especially at that first spray, and within the first half hour, it can be a little overwhelming to people. So when I want sort of a softer version to it, I will put vanilla bourbon on it. I'll spray this a little bit lighter than I usually do. My usual sprays are about 5 sprays. I'll put only a couple on and then top it off with this fragrance, and it just comes out to be a little bit more easygoing version of Coco Mademoiselle Intense, one that I really love. I think this layers very well with this soft, beautiful vanilla scent. Another thing that I'll say about vanilla bourbon is that this does last on my skin. Even though it is an affordable brand, it tends to last at least 6 hours on my skin, where I'll be walking around and I'll get, whiffs of it as I'm moving throughout the day. So a great option for somebody who likes a little bit of booziness, a little bit of woodiness in their vanilla. I would see people who like Nirvana Bourbon to like this fragrance. It's a little bit softer, maybe a little bit more well-rounded, but with better longevity. People who like Spiritueuse Double Vanille may even like this fragrance. Yes, this comes at a much more affordable price point, so I'm not sure about the quality, how that would really compare to something like Spiritueuse Double Vanille by Guerlain. But I do think if you like a boozy vanilla with that woodiness, like I mentioned before, this is definitely one to get your nose on and just see if it fits what you're looking for. Again, this is Vanilla Bourbon by Mixbar. The last fragrance that I have here is Coconut Palm by Mixbar, and again, this is another one that is a hair and body mist because I couldn't access the actual fragrance itself. Now this one is unlike any other coconut fragrance that I've tried. Most of the time when I'm buying a coconut fragrance, it's because I want something tropical, I want something beachy, I want something to get me in that vacation mindset, and this one doesn't really do that. So in full transparency, I have a disclaimer that I did not like this fragrance very much at first. It wasn't what I expected from a coconut fragrance. It was one where I had to shift my expectations just a little bit because I'm not getting that beachy vacation vibe from this fragrance. It's a woody coconut that has a little bit of sweetness. It's definitely unisex to my nose, maybe leaning a little feminine to some people, but to my nose, this leans right in the middle of unisex. I find this to be very pretty. It's a scent I like. I did read some reviews on this because I was curious what other people's thoughts were here, and some people were nauseated by this fragrance. So this is probably not a safe blind buy. What I like about Coconut Palm really is because it doesn't go so overly sweet, it's a little bit more wearable for some people, and I think all of these here are very wearable for an office setting, a business setting, and this is no exception. The one thing I wondered was how this fragrance might pair with an Ariana Grande Cloud. I don't layer fragrances for the most part. My expectation is that my fragrances are exactly what I want from them and that I don't have to layer, but sometimes I do find it to be a little bit fun to layer fragrances, and I'm wondering with Cloud, what I noticed is that this one goes a little bit overly sweet to me at times. I really have to be in the mood for this fragrance. It has this super sugary sweetness. I don't know if it's from the coconut or the whipped cream or what really drives that for me, but there's also sort of this fresh toothpaste vibe that lingers very much in the background. So it's not overly present to me, and I pick it up every now and then. But it's not something I love about this one, and so I don't reach for it enough. So for me, you know, just in playing with this fragrance over the past 24 hours, I have been curious if it would pair with Ariana Grande Cloud, if it would kind of tone down that sweetness just a bit, if it would bring it down a little bit with that woody component that is in this fragrance. Definitely something that I plan to try over the next couple of weeks and see how these two pair with one another. Again, I don't really layer fragrances all that often, but sometimes I find it a little bit fun to do, to mix and match and see how it plays out to make your own unique fragrance. If you're looking for that beachy, sweet, tropical, suntan type vibe, you will not get it here. It's a little bit more of a woody, toasted type coconut fragrance, but it is one that I like. I find myself, you know, going back to, I enjoy wearing it. So one that you should check out if that appeals to you. Again, this fragrance is Coconut Palm by Mixbar. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on Mixbar fragrances, and I wish I had more to share with you. If that interests you, please let me know and I'll buy a sample set, or I'll try to pick up more of the fragrances if I can get my hands on them. I'll find a way to do it if you're interested in it. I truly appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your week, and until next time, I'll see you soon.